It has finally dawned on South Africans. After chasing away all immigrants, their plan was to take over all the businesses, all the works in South Africa. But unfortunately, some companies in South Africa have vowed never to give their jobs or their work to any South African because they are not competent. So recently, a Dudula member or a Match on Match member approached this white man in his company asking him to stop employing foreigners, that he should employ South African. The result of his action caused this man to say something that really shocked the world. I'm going to be playing the video here for you all to watch, because the man said he would rather close down his company than employing South Africans. Wow. Let's take a look at some of the videos. Then we'll be right back. Please kindly share the video, like, and please subscribe.
First of all, when this Dudula and Match on Match things was going on, their main aim was to make sure that all the African nationals leave South Africa, so the South African companies and the rest, or the factories in South Africa, will employ South Africans. So that was their main aim, Jacinta and the rest, to sack others and then allow, theirs to be employed. It's worked to some extent, because we've seen them being employed as, delivery drivers. Even though we saw videos of them eating the food they were sent to deliver. Anyways, some businessmen in South Africa are saying that they would rather close down their factories and companies than employ South Africans. So as you can see, this is one of the Match on Match people talking to this businessman. He said, if you will not be able to employ other African nationals, there is no way he will employ South African. He said he would rather lose and watch his factory closed than employ South Africans to work in his company. The reason, I don't know. He lives in South Africa, so only he should know why he refuses to employ South Africans but employ other nationals in South Africa. And we've seen a lot of shops getting closed because they are not being operable again. And now some businessmen also saying that there is no way they will employ South Africans.
I have a big concern. Today you just hired 5, I don't know, it's Maputo, Zimbabwe people. No, there's people that are painting there. Yeah. Yes. So can you please hire South Africans? I'm trying to show this shop. I can even call my company now. I'm from Lapo. L-A-C-O. You can Google it. It's fine. Yeah. So these people here is been telling me, but then you come with foreigner people. You don't want foreigner.
Leave
now.
Now, and you can also leave now. I will not employ you people.
Why?
Why should I?
Why should you employ outside people?
I have my own people.
Outside people, foreigners.
No, South Africans.
But then the ones that are waiting here are. And don't shout at me. Don't shout at me.
You started shouting at me.
No, don't shout at me. I'm not your child. Don't shout at me. Oh.
Match and Match did their job of getting rid of illegal immigrants, but the fight still continues, because now these companies need to be forced to hire locals. And this kind of reminds me, I think there are 3 types of people when it comes to these companies hiring locals. There are people who want just people who are documented to be hired in these companies, and there's another subsection that wants only South Africans to be hired in these companies, and then there's a third type of people that want South Africans to be prioritized. So the ones that want South Africans to be prioritized maybe want like 70% of the company to hire South Africans, but there are others, they just want anyone who has the right papers to work in South Africa. But there's a video of this European guy who got rid of illegal immigrants, but is still hiring immigrants, and there's a South African guy who wants this European guy to hire South Africans, but he's having none of it. He's saying that he's not going to hire South Africans, and you cannot force him to hire South Africans.
Today you just hired 5, I don't know, it's Maputo, Zimbabwe people. No, there's people that are painting there. Yeah. Yes. So can you please hire South Africans? I'm trying to show this shop. I can even call my company now. I'm from Lapo. L-A-C-O. You can Google it. It's fine. Yeah. So these people here is been telling me.
That is the main question. How are these companies going to be forced to hire legal immigrants, permanent residents, people who have passports, IDs, South African citizens, etc.? Will we approach these companies and just force them like with brute force, like how illegal immigrants were chased out of the country? Because it seems like that doesn't work. Is the government going to go to the private sector and force the private sector to hire South Africans? Is there a way to actually coerce or try to convince these companies to hire South Africans? Like, you see the dilemma in this kind of situation. So yeah, man, it has to be dealt with, because the main reason, much, they say that the government is the one that is supposed to hire people, but the government is not really the main people that are hiring people in South Africa. The private sector is the one that is the main hiring force, I would assume. Abu Pick and Pay, ShopRite, the banks, FNB, etc. So these companies, Abu Pick and Pay, the ones that are making an example of, usually in most of the cases they hire South Africans or people with documentation. But these firms like MFMN, like how do we convince these Europeans to hire South Africans? How do we do that? Because the government can't be convinced, and most of the time, when you go to government jobs, government doesn't hire illegal immigrants. I don't think the government hire illegal immigrants. The people that hire illegal immigrants are these random companies, firms that deal with, stock taking, construction companies, etc. How are they forced to be hiring South Africans? How will they be forced to do that?
But then now, and you can also leave now. I will not employ you people.
Why?
Why should I?
Why should you employ outside people?
I have my own people.
Outside people? Foreigners?
No, South Africans.
But then the ones that are working here are... Don't shout at me. Don't shout at me.
You started shouting at me.
No, don't shout at me. I'm not a child. Don't shout at me.
Someone said that popular politics usually oversimplifies complicated situation. When it comes to illegal immigration, it's very complicated, but even though it's straightforward, when it comes to many people, I made an example, when it comes to people who want to hire maids, garden boys and all of that, people actually prefer immigrants, and usually illegal immigrants, because they get to exploit their labor. So there's like an advantage to illegal immigrants if you actually have the money, because even in the Western Cape, that's why there was not like a huge protest over illegal immigrants, because in Western Cape is usually opulent people that are living there, which means they get to exploit illegal immigrants. And another person said the reason these companies, they would rather close down than hire South Africans is because that's what they're saying. That's not what I'm saying. It's because South Africans usually don't come to work. They come to work drunk. These are just stereotypes, of course. But the one that says South Africans don't usually come to work or don't do overtime, it's usually because South Africans have rights. You can take a day off, you can take annual leave randomly, wake up in the morning and decide not to go to work, while illegal immigrants or immigrants randomly want to work. They want to go to work because they really need the job, and they cannot really afford to get laid off, because it's simple to actually fire an illegal immigrant than to fire a South African. A South African can actually afford to take day offs, because you can't just fire a South African or a person with paperwork. They can go to CCMA or Department of Labor. So yeah, man, that is going to be the main struggle. How will we force these companies to hire people with paperwork, not illegal immigrants?
Most of this march on march protester thinks that everything will come at the platter of gold whenever foreigners leaves. They do not know that these companies works with highly professional people, and these march on march protesters do not even come close to professionalism. They do not even have the full qualification to work. They are jumping from one company to another company, forcing the employers to employ their own people, their own illiterates. The illiterate march on march that do not even have a single qualification to work. Just look at the delivery job they gave to them. They messed it up. They were eating the food. The ordinary delivery job for them to handle, they were messing it up. So you want a company to give you a very big role for you to handle. Meanwhile, you don't have the qualification. Do you want to bring down the company? This march on march people, the kind of thing you guys ask sometimes is quite funny. You don't have a qualification, and most of these march on march people, they did not go to school. They don't have the certificates, and they want to work in big companies. Very greedy people. They want to work in big company. They want to sit down in the office. They don't have the qualification. Just imagine. Well, this man said he rather shut down his company than employing South Africans. He would rather shut down his company than employ them. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Please kindly share the video, like and subscribe.